Elton John, the man who's as famous for his music as he is for his outrageous lifestyle. From epic meltdowns to shocking feuds and everything in between, Elton's life has been full of drama. Stick around because today we're diving into everything wrong with Elton John, and trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Or a man who makes potions in a...
Sorry to interrupt, but Elton just said subscribing will instantly improve your wardrobe by 300% sparkle. Who doesn't want that? The nose candy-fueled Rocketman. Imagine thinking you're invincible because you're high on white powder. Well, that was Elton John's life in the 70s and 80s. His daily dose of nose candy made him feel like Superman, but let's be real. He was closer to a rocket ship ready to explode. While his wild behavior and unpredictable moments became the stuff of legends, they also came dangerously close to ending his career, and possibly his life. Crashing parties, blowing off interviews, and oh yeah, let's not forget that time he almost died on the operating table due to an overdose. Who needs rational thinking when you've got a killer piano solo, right? It wasn't just the highs of fame. Elton's substance abuse binges were the perfect recipe for chaos, and somehow he lived to tell the tale. Which brings us to the next topic. Outrageous stage persona. Elton John's stage persona was like the love child of Liberace and a neon sign. Flamboyant, over the top, and impossible to ignore. His costumes? Oh, let's just say you couldn't find anything more subtle than a glittery sequin jumpsuit, topped off with oversized rainbow-colored glasses. It was like he stepped straight out of a carnival. People either adored his eccentric fashion choices or questioned his sanity. There was no in-between. But here's the thing, Elton knew exactly what he was doing. These outrageous outfits weren't just for show. They were a shield to protect his fragile ego and amplify his rock star identity. He wasn't just performing, he was creating an experience, one that made sure everyone was looking at him. A genius? Maybe. A fashion icon? Definitely. The Putin prank call fiasco. In 2015, Elton John fell victim to one of the most embarrassing pranks in celebrity history. Russian pranksters, pretending to be none other than Vladimir Putin, called him up, claiming to want to discuss gay rights. Because, you know, who wouldn't trust the leader of a country notorious for its anti-LGBTQ+ stance? Elton, ever the advocate, took the bait, only to realize that he had just been had. The whole conversation was a joke, and poor old Elton was the punchline. After a public backtrack and a fair amount of humiliation, Elton apologized for being duped. But hey, at least it gave him something to laugh about after the cringe wore off. Moral of the story, there isn't any. Smashing iPads in the studio. It's 2025 and Elton John's temper is still going strong. Case in point, the recent video footage showing him absolutely losing it in the studio. Elton, in a fit of rage, grabs an iPad and smashes it against the floor like he's trying to break his anger management issues in half. And guess who was there to witness it? None other than Brandi Carlile. If there's one thing you can count on, it's that Elton's short fuse hasn't dulled with age. Is it a late midlife crisis? Well, maybe. Is it just classic Elton behavior? Absolutely. In a world where most celebs have learned to keep it cool, Elton's out here proving that when the mood strikes, the iPad gets it. Some people have stress ball. Elton has an iPad and a bad attitude. The misadventure of the golden toilet. Elton John once lent a solid gold toilet to a party because, well, why not? It's not like anyone else is going to have a golden loo just lying around. But, of course, things didn't go according to plan. This shiny piece of porcelain luxury was stolen during a bizarre heist at Blenheim Palace, and suddenly, the golden toilet became the most sought-after item in the world, besides Elton's infamous sunglasses collection. Imagine being the thief who steals a toilet worth £4.8 million. Only to realize it's not even usable unless you have a royal-level water bill. The whole situation was so ludicrous, it sounded like something out of a ridiculous heist movie. But no, this was just Elton living his best life, handing out toilets worth more than most people's entire homes. A true rock star move. The overspending meltdown. Let's talk about Elton John's financial planning, or rather the absolute lack thereof. In 2019, his ex-manager revealed that Elton managed to blow £40 million in just 20 months. Yes, you heard that right. 40 million pounds. Among the more absurd expenditures, a casual 293,000 pounds spent on flowers. They last a week maybe, but why not drop nearly 300 grand to show the world how much you really love a bouquet? This wasn't just a little splurge. It was a meltdown of epic proportions. It was like watching a toddler with a credit card and no idea what budgeting means. Fans were left flabbergasted. And honestly, who could blame them? In a world where most people clip coupons, Elton's buying flowers that cost more than a house. Truly a financial genius. Walking out on Billy Joel. Recah into 2011, when Elton John and Billy Joel were supposed to be a dynamic duo on tour, right? Wrong! After several months of touring together, Elton decided he'd had enough and walked out on Billy mid-show. Why, you might ask? Well, allegedly, it was due to Billy's drinking, but let's be real. Did anyone expect Elton to stick around in the middle of a drama-filled tour? Fans were stunned, wondering if they just witnessed one of the most bizarre public fallouts in music history. It was like a bad reality TV show, except no one was getting paid for the drama. Elton, ever the diva, couldn't take the chaos anymore and just left. Billy Joel must have been thinking, is this real life? Well, yes, Billy boy, it is. But when you're Elton John, sometimes you just walk away. Eye infection, blindness, drama. In 2024, Elton John experienced a slight health scare when he nearly lost sight in one eye due to a nasty infection. Of course, because it's Elton, he turned the situation into a dramatic quip at the 2025 Golden Globes.
Around about my regressive eyesight, and I just wanted to reassure everybody that it's not as bad as it seems, so...
Lightheartedly joking about his temporary blindness. Fans, however, were not laughing. Imagine hearing your idol casually joke about losing an eye. It's like watching your favorite superhero almost get taken out by a villain, only to brush it off as no big deal. Fans went into full panic mode, fearing that the legendary Rocketman might be on the brink of becoming Rocket One Eye. We're glad to report that Elton's vision returned, but his casual attitude toward the situation left fans nervously clutching their monocles, wondering if their next Golden Globe speech would be as carefree about health scares. The Lion King royalty dispute. Elton John wasn't exactly thrilled with his paycheck after The Lion King became the billion-dollar sensation that it was. While the world sang along to Circle of Life, Elton took a long, hard look at his royalties and grumbled about what he called a measly cut from Disney. Considering he composed some of the most iconic songs of a generation, like Can You Feel the Love Tonight, you'd think he'd get a little more than pocket change for his contributions. But nope. Instead, he was left holding the I'm not mad, just disappointed card. Disney made billions, and Elton, well, he wasn't exactly feeling the love when it came to his financial share. But hey, at least his iconic music made it into a film that was more successful than most people's entire careers. The Rocketman movie backlash. If you thought Rocketman was going to be an unbiased, true-to-life depiction of Elton John's extraordinary life, think again. Fans and critics weren't shy about slamming the 2019 biopic for its creative liberties and what they called blatant historical inaccuracies. The movie, intended to capture the essence of Elton's journey, had the audacity to bend the truth so far it nearly snapped. Fans called it a rewrite of Elton's real story, like the scriptwriters were trying to squeeze an already wild life into a neat little Hollywood box. What was supposed to be a deeply personal, gritty look at his rise to fame instead felt like a well-edited fairy tale with Elton cast as the hero and the rest of history left in the dust. So, was it a biopic or a work of fantasy? Depends on who you ask. Have you seen Rocketman? What did you think of it? Let me know down below. Vegan hypocrisy scandal. Elton John, the self-proclaimed plant-based guru, spent years preaching the gospel of veganism, encouraging his fans to eat their veggies and save the planet. But in 2023, the paparazzi caught him red-handed, chowing down on a juicy steak. Talk about a plant-based preacher turned carnivore. The internet had a field day, roasting Elton for the hypocrisy. Critics rushed to brand him fake woke, accusing him of jumping on the vegan trend for clout and not practicing what he preached. Elton tried to laugh it off, but no amount of vegan leather jackets could save him from the backlash. Let's be real. If you're going to call yourself the poster child of a movement, maybe skip the steak when you think no one's watching, or at least eat it in private, Elton. I'm not standing. Elton is known for his extravagant outfits and legendary performances, and experienced a moment that might be even more iconic than any of his hits. During the 2014 Statoil Masters at the Royal Albert Hall, Elton, while sitting in a chair at a tennis match, had a mild mishap. He fell off his chair. The whole thing was so ridiculous that it almost felt like a skit straight out of a comedy show. The best part? Well, Elton, ever the performer, jumped up and delivered an impromptu quip, shouting, "I'm not standing, yeah, yeah, yeah," clearly referencing his own hit, "I'm Still Standing." Because, of course, only Elton would fall off a chair and turn it into a moment of pure self-aware brilliance. It's almost like he planned it. Almost. Madonna and Rod Stewart feuds. Elton John's feuds are as legendary as his music, and two of his most iconic rivalries have been with Madonna and Rod Stewart. The Madonna feud erupted in 2004 when Elton, never one to hold back, called her a miserable cow and mocked her for lip-syncing. But it didn't end there. He also referred to her as a fairground stripper, an insult so bizarre and vivid it became part of pop culture history. Madonna fired back, and their rivalry spiraled into years of snarky comments and public drama, making it clear that their relationship was far from friendly. Then there's Elton's feud with Rod Stewart that has been going on for 60 years. Their playful insults, Rod mocking Elton's hair transplant, and Elton calling out Rod's fashion have been a constant source of amusement. Despite all the petty jabs, the two have occasionally shared the stage, proving that music can temporarily unite even the most bitter enemies. The £1 million Sun libel payout. In 1988, Elton John found himself in a battle with The Sun newspaper after they ran some truly outrageous claims about him, accusing him of hiring a rent boy and using dogs to silence people. The tabloid took creative liberties with Elton's life, but Elton wasn't about to let those lies slide. He took them to court, and in a legal smackdown of epic proportions, won a £1 million libel payout. The Sun was left eating humble pie, or maybe just a really bitter headline, while Elton walked away with a massive sum. The case not only proved that Elton was willing to fight back, but it also sent a message. Don't mess with the Rocketman, or you might just find yourself paying for it. Good for you, Elton. Tantrums and Tiaras documentary. Once upon a time in 1997, the world got an exclusive, unfiltered look at Elton John's temper through the Tantrums and Tiaras documentary. If you ever wondered what a diva meltdown looks like, this was it. From storming off a tennis court to berating his staff, Elton's tantrums were on full display for all to see. It was as if the cameras had caught every bit of his worst behavior, exposing his fiery side and proving that being a music legend doesn't always come with good manners. Fans were left both stunned and entertained by the raw footage, as Elton's world of glitz and glam was balanced with bursts of rage that were anything but glamorous. Who knew the Rocketman had such a fiery fuse? Sobriety slip-up confession. Elton John has always been candid about his battle with addiction, but in the 90s, he hit a rough patch. After years of sobriety, Elton admitted to a relapse that ended with him waking up in vomit. Talk about rock bottom. His raw confession was a humbling moment, a far cry from the superstar persona he projected. For a man who had spent years preaching about sobriety and recovery, this slip-up was a reality check. It was a rare glimpse into the vulnerabilities of a rock icon who had, for once, shown that even the strongest can falter. Elton's honesty about his struggle was both heartbreaking and inspiring, showing that even after decades of success, personal battles don't always play by the rules. The Bernie Taupin lyric rip. Earlier this year, Elton John's temper flared again, this time in the studio, as he tore up Bernie Taupin's lyrics, calling them predictable. Caught on camera, Elton's tantrum made headlines as he slammed his longtime collaborator's work. For years, Elton and Bernie had created some of the most iconic music together. But it seems not every lyric hit the mark for Elton. His outburst left many wondering, when does creative genius cross the line into diva behavior? Fans were taken aback by the explosive moment, with some questioning whether the two legends were beginning to show cracks in their long-running partnership. It's one thing to criticize a song. It's another to tear up the paper in a fit of rage. The David Furnish tabloid tell-all rumors. Recently, rumors swirled about David Furnish potentially writing a tell-all memoir, with whispers suggesting it could reveal the behind-the-scenes secrets of their marriage. The tabloids speculated that Elton's controlling side could be exposed, with hints that their relationship wasn't as picture-perfect as it seemed. If the memoir ever materialized, it would likely delve deep into the dynamics of their marriage, with fans curious to see what was really going on behind closed doors. Elton's career has always been a mix of highs and lows, but the thought of personal secrets spilling into the public was a new twist. Would David reveal everything? Or would the rumors stay just that? Only time will tell. And there you have it. From his outrageous stage persona to his infamous meltdowns, this rock legend has had a life full of drama, contradictions, and unforgettable moments. So why do we love him? Because despite the chaos, Elton's unapologetically himself, and that's what makes him an icon. What do you think of Elton John? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.